All right, guys, here we are with some practice with piecewise functions, and we're just going to go through and do these problems. All right, pause it at any time that you need to, or just go ahead and stop it if you feel like you've got it. All right, so the first function we've got here is f of x equals our first equation in blue, and we'll do the second equation in red. All right, our first equation is f of x equals negative 2/3 x plus 2, and that's on the interval negative 9 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 6. Okay, now let's just talk about this for a second. Remember that when we have an or equal to, it's a closed circle. All right, so this one I'm boxing in because it's closed, and it's in front of the, means it's our start of the function, or start of the interval for this part of the function. All right, on the other end, we also have an or equal to. So this is also a closed circle, and this is the end of the interval. Okay, now we're going to make our table. All right, remember we're starting the table at negative 9, and we're ending the table at 6. And to fill in the rest, we need to type it into our calculator. All right, so negative 2/3 x plus 2. All right, take a quick look at the graph. That's a linear function. Remember, we're not graphing the whole thing, only a part of it. So we'll go to the table, and we want to start at negative 9. So let's scroll. And it looks like I got a lot of fractions, but don't just remember we want to do just the integer ones. So our first point is negative 9/8. Our next point is negative 6/6. Our next good integer value point that we can plot is negative 3/4. And then it's going 0, 2, 3, 0, and 6, negative 2. Okay, and I'm going to box in the first point and our last point because remember that those are closed circles. All right, and now it's time to graph this piece. All right, so we're starting with negative 9/8. Nice closed circle. Then negative 6/6, negative 3/4, 0, 2, 3, 0, and 6, negative 2 is also a closed circle. All right, that's our first piece of the function. Our second piece is in red. Our second piece is f of x equals the square root of minus 6. And that's on the interval 6 is less than x is less than or equal to 10. Okay, now because this one is just less than, we are going to do an open circle. And since it's the first of the two numbers, that is the starting part of our interval. Okay, the end piece is going to be a closed circle because it's or equal to. All right, so we've got our table going from 6 to 10. And now let's type it into y equals, and let's figure out what kind of function it is and what it's going to look like, and copy down the points. So it's a second squared, or square root of x minus 6. All right, well, let's take a look at the graph. All right, that is a square root function. And now let's go to the table and copy it down. Okay, starting with 6, we've got 6, 0. We have 7, 1. 8 and 9 are kind of crazy decimals, so I'm not going to worry about those two. And then 10 is 2. All right, now let's graph that. All right, I want to make a little note that 6, 0 is an open circle, and 10, 2 is a closed circle. All right, so 6, 0 is an open circle, 7, 1, and then 10, 2 is a closed circle. And we're going to make it a little curved because we want it to look like the square root function. Okay. Go ahead and try the second example on your own completely. Pause the video, and then you can watch it, me going through it. All right. Example 2 is g of x. And we'll do it in orange, and we'll do it in green. All right, so the first part is g of x equals negative absolute value of x from negative 4 is less than or equal to x is less than 1. Okay. 4 has got an or equal to, so it is closed. And this is the start. All right. The 1 is just less than, so it's an open circle. And that's the end of this interval for negative absolute value of x. Okay. So I've got negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. All right, this one is a closed circle, and this one's an open circle. And we're going to go ahead and type it into our calculator. Negative, remember alpha window to get x, absolute value of x. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the table. Remember, we're starting at negative 4. Okay, so we've got the point negative 4, negative 4, negative 3, negative 3, negative 2, negative 2, negative 1, negative 1, 0, 0, and 1, negative 1. All right, let's go ahead and plot this point now, these points. Okay, remember, a nice big closed circle at negative 4, negative 4. And all the rest are regular. Negative 3, negative 3, negative 2, negative 2, negative 1, negative 1, 0, 0, and 1, negative 1 is an open circle. All right. Our second equation, our second piece here, is g of x equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 6 from 1 is less than or equal to x is less than 6. Okay, closed circle. And the start, open circle, and the end of the interval. So from 1 to 6. So I'm making my table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's go to our calculator, type it in, and find our y values. All right, take a look at the graph. Quadratic function, nice U shape. Go to the table. All right, and we're starting from 1 to 6. So 1, negative 1. I'm going to graph it because I'm almost out of time here. Negative 6 is down here.